dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Oh, hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and podcast. Head gardener Lee McGrady's ready to chat with us. We've got the old guy in Europe. He was up and at him at 7:55 this morning. Coach Turner's back in Hertfordshire and Deagle McKillen in Belfast. And, of course, our great friend Antonio F. is here as well with a look on the screen here. Bon dia a todos. The Chakra Shakers are getting ready to talk with us. They've got new music. So I'll give you a little blast of their music right now. The Chakra Shakers, looking forward to talking to Joe and Natasha in a little while. And Jason, of course, Jason of Quinta Essencial. I had a bit of a drama with his new dog, his new puppy, but I think all is well again. If you've got any questions about gardening, pop them in the chat. Head gardener McGrady will deal with those in just a moment. I've got to make sure he's okay. He's either looking intensely and intently into the camera, or he's frozen. I think it's the latter. Here's a bit of the Chakra Shakers. Rock and roll! Come on, Lee. More from the Chakra Shakers a little bit later on in the show. He's just about to spark up. Let's watch this live. There he is, head gardener Lee McGrady. How you doing, mate?
Good morning, Carl.
How's that weather there? Look, I'm looking at... Maybe we should do this together, Lee. This is the hottest June on record ever in the billions of years that we've all been here, living with dinosaurs, etc. And here we have 18 degrees in Lisbon. I'm sure it feels hotter than that. It's flipping 23 in the studio. No, 24 in the studio. 25 inside the studio nearly here. It's going to hit 79 in Lisbon later. It's going to hit, a mere 19 in Porto later on. And Coimbra's got 27 today. And Faro, a high of 28. How's it looking? It's got to be warmer than that in the capital, Lee.
No, it's been really cool recently. I'm quite enjoying it.
Oh, okay. It's always better for you, isn't it, when it's a little bit damp and a little bit cool?
Yeah, we've had a couple of hot days last week that weren't enjoyable, but
okay.
this is fine. This is cool.
Right. Good, yeah. Good. And it's agapanthus time. More importantly, beautiful in the garden at the moment. Agapanthus, blue and white, and blossom. Lots of blossom and the scent of blossom in the evenings. That's beautiful, isn't it?
They're up everywhere at the moment, yeah. I mean, they do really well here. We get 2 or 3 blooms with them, but this one's always the best one, this early summer one.
Oh, I see. Okay, so this is the first showing, is it? And we may get more in the autumn.
Well, there was, depending where you are, there's normally like an early show just after Christmas-ish, when we get the first bit of warm weather, when the days get longer.
Very nice.
Well, at the moment, yeah, it's doing really well.
Looking beautiful. So what's new in your world and the gardens of Lisbon?
Oh, God. Everything's going mental at the moment. With the weather we've had, with the rain we've had, with the cooler days, everything's just gone mental. The weeds haven't stopped coming through.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're not talking about business necessarily. Although I guess if people's gardens are full of weeds and everything's growing, they want you there double quick, right? Everyone wants you at the same time.
You know, I don't advertise, and I'm doing 7 days a week, so it's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Good on you. Right. And your buddy Carl Hyde is here as well. Bon dia from Lisbon. He's in town as well on a photo shoot. We might get to show a few pictures of that a bit later on. Joao Ernesto also in. Early today, watercolor class. Okay, mate. We'll see you soon, Joao Ernesto. Maybe tonight for the Portugal club. We'll have a little drinky tonight. We might watch the women's game, Portugal versus Malta. Sorry, Lee, I interrupted you. What's Carl up to?
He's drove into the city to do photos for an apartment he's selling.
Mad.
But he had to be there. I think the shoot's at 11, but he's gone in to tidy up and clean up beforehand.
Oh, I
And with
see.
the traffic from this side of the bridge going into the city, he's had to set off at 6:30 to be there on time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He must be mad. That's what he had to do, did he? To be on time and meet his
Yeah.
photographer and so on. He
Well,
set off at 6:30.
he wanted to go in and clean up, and if you leave at 9, you're going to get stuck in traffic. You ain't going to be there for 11 and have time to tidy up beforehand. So,
Right.
yeah, he's had to go in super early.
How things have changed, Lee. When you first got here, and that's not that long ago, is it? It wasn't this busy getting across the bridge to get into town. Now it's crazy. And there isn't really a solution, is there? There's going to be more traffic on the roads. There isn't really a solution. You can't, I mean, you can go round it, but that bridge is also busy, isn't it? And when you get into town, when you land in Lisbon, same with Faro Airport. Who was it? Tom in Ohio said he saw pictures of Faro Airport. He said, look like most of Europe had landed in Faro Airport over the weekend. It's just the price of popularity of Portugal.
I've been coming here for 10 years now.
Yeah,
living here for half that. And traffic's got worse and worse every year. Every morning it gets worse and worse. At the moment, it's quite easy because holidays. It's some holidays have started, so it's not so bad at the moment. But going home at night can be a nightmare. You've got to check your sat nav for yourself.
Right. Okay. Got to have strategies and tactics to get past that. Okay.
But I mean, Waze is excellent for it. It gives you all the details. It lets you know where all the accidents are.
Okay.
And it's every night. There's something every night.
Which takes the fun out of. I mean, you didn't move here for stress on the roads, did you? Just like being back in Manchester from that point of view.
Well, if anything, some nights I enjoy it because it gives me a little time to chill out on the way home.
Yes,
I put a podcast on and I just sit in. If you expect the bad traffic and you're prepared for it, take a bottle of water with you and just be prepared to wait an hour.
You make a good point. You make a good point. I remember this from England and the M25, which is known as the biggest car park in Europe, because that comes to a standstill on a regular basis. And it's like, oh, road rage is terrible. That's not road rage. Traffic congestion is terrible, and obviously the subsequent road rage from time to time. But then what people don't tell you is what you've just admitted to publicly is like it's a moment of peace. And people all over the world in busy cities must enjoy after a stressful day, or can enjoy after a stressful day, a bit of me time in the car.
We used to joke about it because when you live in England, you might complain twice a year that you've seen something ridiculous on the road. You know, I'll get home and I'll say, God, I've just saw this ridiculous guy racing through the traffic, flashing people. That happens every day here. It happens every day. There's something ridiculous happens.
Yes.
And a few years ago, I was getting that little road rage, building up in me. And then I decided to just start blowing kisses at people. It really fucking annoys them. Yeah. If I look calm and relaxed and just blow kisses at them when they're racing past me, you can see the blood racing to the faces. And I've won.
You're a wind-up merchant, aren't you? So if you did see a white van man blowing you a kiss in Lisbon, it may well have been, well, it might not have been Lee, because it might be something that catches on in Lisbon. It might be something as popular as the I Love New York logo, men blowing kisses at each other from cars in Lisbon, just to ease the stress and the strain. A Lord Barrack is here. Lord Travanca, of course. See you tonight for a drink at the Portugal Club. Oh, I didn't bring it with me this morning. I'll be trying bacalhau pate, which is something I've never seen before. But in among the fish pastes, and we like a bit of fish paste, don't we? If we're from the UK, sometimes it's a nice thing in a sarnie at tea time, isn't it? A bit of fish paste. And I've seen sardine paste. I've seen mackerel paste. Yesterday, bacalhau pate. So I'll be having that with some red wine tonight.
I can't believe you've not had it yet.
Bacalhau pate.
It's at every family party we have. There's a big bloody dish of it. It's great on those little crackers, on those little square cracker things. It's lovely on that.
I shall be doing that tonight. Thank you, Leaf. Any more top tips from the kitchen? I mean, we know you to be the head gardener in the garden. You're not a dab hand in the kitchen. You leave that to other people, I think, don't you?
No, I'm okay in the kitchen. I made dinner on Sunday night.
Right.
I do my bit occasionally. I do a pretty good bolognese.
Bolognese. Okay,
I
that
do.
doesn't sound so appetizing, but anyway.
I do spaghetti bolognese. I do a great chicken dinner. Something with you, man.
All right, fair enough. And this before João Ernesto goes off to his watercolor class, he's having a little go at our accents here. Gotta love the classic British phrase. This is from the south, though. You won't hear Lee saying this; he'll say it differently. That's bottle of water. Is from more down my end of shandy drinking end of England, right? How do you say? How would you say bottle of water, Lee? So we can give the Americans a giggle.
That's it, properly. A bottle of water.
Oh, there you go. In His Majesty's, most beautifully enunciated. Thank you. Belfast introduced bus lanes 5 years ago when a road traffic accident on the M1, M2 traffic comes into town. I think that's what the RTA means there. But can't use bus lanes to keep traffic flowing. Nightmare. But yet, when town planners and other such officials interfere, they don't tend to make things any better, do they? You need to move to central Portugal if you don't like traffic. We have terrible traffic here too. You can be delayed by nearly 3 minutes with a sheep herd, and we saw nearly 3 cars en route to town. Terrible. It's getting worse there as well, isn't it? Used to be 2 cars, now you see 3 on the way to Castelo Branco or Fundão, if you live over Pete's Way. Michael Barton also in. Good morning to you. Bon dia from a foggy Miranda de Corvo. Bacalhau pate. We know Pete won't be a fan. No, it's not Pete. I'm gonna hold my judgment until I try it tonight. And actually, I'm quite as surprised as Lee is that I haven't seen it and haven't tried it yet. Oh dear, rewind a bit. He said it the classic. Of course he did. Pete, you hate bacalhau so much that you even wrote it wrong. Yes, that's right. He can't even say it properly. He's so mad about it. Nuno also here. Maybe see you tonight as well, Nuno, for a little bit of Portuguese wine and a bit of a chat and a social. No training or no selling. It's just hanging out at 8:30 with the Portugal Club. So what else is new, Lee? It sounds like summer has finally hit Lisbon, and it's all looking lovely over there, barring the traffic jams on the bridge and around the bridge and in town.
Well, gardening wise, all the fruit trees coming back into fruit now. So I've got a lot of treatment for white flies and green flies going on at the moment. Right. I'm putting up a few fly traps for the fruit flies. Tomatoes are all smashing at the moment. Strawberries are everywhere.
Yes.
Just lots of irrigation problems this week.
Oh, so going back to fruit flies and putting traps up, they're not just annoying; they are dangerous and destructive as well, are they?
I don't know if they're dangerous, but they're definitely disruptive. They can destroy a crop on the trees.
I mean, yeah, okay. So you have to deal with them. So it's not just a problem of when you're sat in the garden and they're buzzing around your face, because that is a problem at the moment. Mosquitoes and flies are pretty persistent and annoying right now, and the little fruit flies seem quite inoffensive, but they can destroy your trees. So you got to do something about them. What's your favourite fruit fly trap?
We've got one in the garden here actually. But it's the thing I don't like about it is it's a little bit indiscriminate, so it can catch some of the more polite insects as well. I've caught a couple of butterflies in it in the past. Okay. They just jump down.
Do you try and free those then? You inspect your traps?
No, they're dead. They're dead when I find them.
This
is one that we use.
Okay.
You just put a little solution in the bottom, and they come in from the top, and that's on 1 tree out of 6, and it does the job.
So the flies come across from the other trees as well. Okay, so what do you put in them? I have loads of traps, but they don't like the molasses we put in.
Well, that's the stuff I use. I use the molasses that comes with it, but you can use bacalhau water, works just as well. But no, it genuinely does. Yeah, it does.
And the water you're talking about is after you've soaked your bacalhau, as it were. No euphemism. That's because you've got to soak it and get some of the salt content out, and then that juice will become attractive to flies to lure them to their premature death.
Oh yeah, they love it. Or you can actually put vegetable peel in it. Right. So if you peeled your carrots or your onions, you can just drop them in the bottom of it.
Yes.
And just let them rot there. So that looks really well.
Any sort of fetid, rotty sort of stuff that obviously that you would associate with flies, you could put in there. Dog poo. You don't want to be.
Well, I don't think fruit flies enjoy the dog poo as much as you would imagine they do.
The clue is in the name, isn't it? They like fruit, I think.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, bottle of water. No, I mean earlier. Oh, that's right. That's when you were talking about being stuck in a car. You need a bottle of water with you. That's what Joao Ernesto heard. That's how he hears everyone. Even if King Charles himself said it, he would still hear bottle of water for Your Majesty. Fantastic. Anything else? Any other tips from the garden then at the moment? How's it going with this problem of the palm trees having a little bit of a disease? Is that under control now?
No, nowhere near. It's never going to be under control. It's everywhere. I keep seeing more and more. I spotted another one on Friday. That was a huge tree, and it's just started to peel off now. The branches just started to collapse on it.
And you've got to take them down, haven't you? Because I mean, I was looking at one in my neighbourhood, and there were some magnificent palms, and I'd hate to see the demise of. There's a couple outside a particular house on the corner. They can be a bit of a sort of trophy tree, can't they? To say, look at my house and it's massive palm trees outside. These two, they tower above the house, and they blow in the wind, and they make a beautiful sound, and they're magnificent to see. But I'm guessing a tree of that kind, when it starts rotting, you've got to take it down. Otherwise, it could just fall down on somebody.
Well, it's an expensive job as well to have them removed. So that's why some people just leave them and let them rot. And obviously, that's not the way to do it, because that just increases the insect spread. Yeah. But there's some on the side of the road that I've seen recently, on the hard shoulder. A couple that are on community land that have got it. But they're not being dealt with either, so you're not going to win unless everybody makes an effort. And like everything, it's not going to happen. So,
like everything, okay, fair enough. We got more fruit fly traps advice coming in from Carl here. Get an empty jar. This is his best fruit fly trap tip. Get an empty jar, half fill with apple cider vinegar. Oh, that's a waste. And add a drop, it's a salad dressing in the making here, and add a drop of washing up liquid, or maybe not. Swirl around, make a hole or two in the top of the jar. They can't resist it, so they're drawn towards maybe having a wash and a nice, that's a spa if you're a fruit fly, I suppose. And then in the end, you get the last laugh.
That's a little homemade system. Yeah, you can use like a water bottle.
It's very good.
And any of the plastic water bottles you can get, you can use them in that. But,
okay. Pete happy with that.
People that I see doing that, they have multiple ones. They have one in every tree. So it just looks bad as well.
All right. So before you go, maybe you can help with this. Thanks for popping in. It's always great fun talking to you. The like button is for today my personal energy button, which is much needed today. So smash the like button and get me moving, folks. I am the living dead this morning. So try that. If we could smash the like button, because it is Jackie. Good morning to you, Jackie. Her personal energy button. How do you motivate yourself, Lee? You're no spring chicken, but you have the energy, much more energy than many young men I notice these days, walking around with their sloping shoulders and their floppy handshakes. How do you do it? You have to get up every morning and work physically in people's gardens, sometimes in blazing heat. What's your secret?
I drink a lot. Alcohol and cigarettes.
Okay, so there you go. Imagine Jackie.
No, I've always been outdoors. I prefer to be outdoors and indoors, and it's just work, and it's all about the money. And when it's not about the money, it's about the money.
Okay, so think about the money there, Jackie, and one of these for you as well. Hoo-ah! Come on, you can do this. Well done, Jackie. Well done, Lee. Thanks, mate. Take care. Have a great day in Lisbon.
Catch you later, buddy.
You're staying on the safe side of the bridge, I noticed.
Pardon?
You seem to be staying south of the capital and not crossing yourself this morning.
No, I'm this side all day today. Yeah.
Good man. All right. Well, have a good one.
All right. Catch you later.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Bye for now. There he goes. The head gardener, Lee McGrady. So the advice to you, if your personal energy button, think about the money and alcohol and cigarettes. That wasn't quite the answer I was thinking of. It's a very rock and roll answer. And talking of rock and roll, let's bring them onto the screen. The Chakra Shakers.
I can't hear anything. No, we're too quiet. Give me a second.
Hold on. I don't think they can hear me. Are you there? Are you there, guys? We've also got someone.
We just can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello.
Hello. Now we can hear you.
Is Stephen the other member of your band? No? Oh, he froze
Yes.
up now. Stephen is the other member of your band. No, he's not. So you've got a new band member who I'm going to introduce you to now called Stephen. I don't know where Stephen's come from, but he is in the back office here. And while you're figuring out your connection, let's play your fantastic music. We'll have a little snippet of both of your new tunes, which you can tell us all about in just a moment. And I will put some covers on the screen as well, not cover versions, but the covers of your tune. And I'll try and get this in the right order as well. And you'll tell me if I've done this correctly. Okay, so first up then, a little snippet of your new crisp biscuit, Rom Rom A Go Go. And let's give that a spin. Oh, I don't know if this is the right one. I beg your pardon.
Woo!
I think that's the right cover for this one.
That's the one.
Jackie, this is the way to get some energy in your skeleton this morning. All right, and now let's go to a Rom Rom Go Go as well. Let's find that for you now. This morning from the Chakra Shakers, the Silver Coast Sensations, the Chakra Shakers.
Let's go.
Let's go! It's very good. Okay, let's give a nice big round of applause. And let's get you from out behind your cover art there, which I really like, by the way. Excellent cover art. We've got Rom Rom A Go Go there. And what is the name of the other tune that I played?
Suxabai. Suxabai.
Suxabai. What is that? Oh, okay. So that would be a Thai greeting. Is that right?
Cambodian. Kind of.
Cambodian. Beg your pardon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, Stephen is in your band, and not.
He is the drummer, indeed.
Okay, let's bring Stephen on as well. Morning, Steve. Sorry about that. I think we might have met maybe at the gigs, but not met you in this capacity before. And who else is here? One of your backing singers too. Morning.
Yeah, that's one of our backing singers.
Oh, wow. The band's getting bigger and bigger by the moment.
They're on the crack track, that's for sure. So they are both on. No, it was Ellie who was on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Malia was on Rom Go Go.
Very good. Loving the new tunes. Old guy in Europe, reminiscent of B-52s, he said. I'm sure that comparison may have been made by some. Loving that vibe and that sound that you've got there. Stephen, drummer, Joe and Natasha, who we know from Wildflowers as well. And here
That's
in
right.
the Chakra Shakers, I'm calling you the Silver Coast Sensations, the Chakra Shakers. How long have you been rocking? As in this lineup?
About a year.
A year, I think. Yeah.
Amazing.
Stephen, do you remember? I think it's about a year.
Stephen hasn't got the best of connections.
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, okay. There's Stephen.
There is. More or less a year. But interestingly, you talk about Wildflowers. The inspiration for these two singles came from being in Cambodia on the Wildflowers tour.
Yes. Well, we spoke to you about that, and that was amazing, what you pulled off and what you did in the Far East last year. So let's talk about the plans for your shows and the release of these tunes. they're out and about and available, are they? These new couple of tunes, or are they
Not
part
yet.
of an album, an EP?
This week we're gonna probably release them probably this Friday for Bandcamp Friday. We've just been a little slow on releasing them. We've just had a million things going on, but we're trying to get it out right before our big Berlin trip, which we're doing next week. We have 3 gigs in Berlin.
It's amazing.
And then that's followed up by 2 gigs in the UK.
Yeah.
And then we're back in Portugal.
And then we're back to Cambodia with these singles in the wintertime. So we're still working, convincing Stephen that he needs to make a trip to Asia this winter.
Well, that must be quite something. You're obviously a family man there, Stephen. Can you tell us about how you got into be working with the Chakra Shakers, how you got to be here on the Silver Coast, and whether you'll be going to Cambodia or not?
Sure. Got into playing with Joe and Natasha. Joe had started a local jam for anybody who wanted to play, and yeah, we just started playing for fun, and here we are. And yeah, I'd love to go to Cambodia, but there will be a few logistics to sort out for that to happen for me.
Yes, we're aware of that. We're aware of that. So how did you get to be here on the Silver Coast? And did you move here specifically to play with the Chakra Shakers?
I ended up on the Silver Coast. Oh, I've been in Portugal for 8 years, and I've lived in Porto and Aveiro, and then eventually bought some land down here and built a house. So it's no particular reason to be here. I just, but I do like it. So
amazing. And now you find yourself in a rock and roll band. Now, I think the same is the same for you, Natasha, right? You didn't expect to be rocking out in a band all over the world, did you, when you first came to Portugal? Is there something in the water that releases this sort of creativity?
Maybe. I think it's something sent from the heavens, honestly, in my case. As you know, Paul told me to keep rocking after he died, and I did, and met the right people to keep the rock and roll spirit alive. And yeah, traveling through music is such an incredible way to see the world and meet interesting people and experience new cultures.
Yeah, amazing. Jackie loves your new tune. Cracking song, Carl. I think you probably would extend that to both tunes that we've heard this morning, Jackie. Music scene is fab in Portugal. Well, something does seem to be changing, does it not? I mean, you mentioned Stephen Porto there. We've got Rockin' Ron Rogers up there, who's also just released a new single. Are we feeling it now? Because there have been some complaints in the last few years, haven't there? That, you know, that there's, I don't know, the music scene. There's not a lot of original music being played out and about in the news. You're part of that change as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that this is something we've been trying to make change for a few years now. I know I have since I've gotten here. It's just to promote, people understanding that original music is very interesting, and it's kind of what keeps culture alive. And you know, if there's a lack of creativity and a lack of artists, well, then you're going to feel that in the culture. Likewise, if there's a flourishing of culture and creativity, you're also going to feel that in the culture. So, we're lucky. I think it's just time and place. All the pieces are kind of working together at the moment, and we've got, of course, Jess with the Wildflowers, and people like Brandy and Oz from Osmosis. There's plenty of songwriters kind of coming out of the woodworks, and I think what we've tried to do is we've tried to make the Silver Coast a safe space for creative types and songwriters. Hey, look, we can get you a gig. You can come to the open jam and show off your material, and seems to be working. There seems to be creating a little culture here.
I think you're right. And Stephen, could you tell us about your experience of that? Because you rocked up at the open mic and at the jam session, and then you find yourself suddenly in a band. How easy or difficult was that? And would you say it's accessible to other musicians who are turning up here who might actually not have had their instruments out for quite some time? They didn't think they'd be playing in Portugal. Will they find a welcome coming here and attending such an event?
Oh yeah, it's a really great community that Joe has built, that we've all built together, and it's certainly very inclusive. And you know, it's not about talent or anything like this necessarily. It's just really about having fun playing music. So yeah, I certainly, when I had no intention of being in a band that was going to, you know, be doing touring and things like that. But you know, it's when life gives you opportunities, you take them, right? So
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I'm so glad to hear that, Stephen. And it does sound like it wasn't high in your list of priorities, but suddenly you find yourself in this fantastic band, the Chakra Shakers, along with Joe and Natasha, who we can see here. And to me, it does seem reminiscent of greater times in music, because we're often, well, I guess the older you get, the fonder you become of your musical memories and heritage. But this does sound like 60s and 70s vibes to me, with great players that are being discovered and different lineups. That's very much a 60s, 70s thing, isn't it? Where you've got people turning up in bands and combos and pursuing different vibes and different genres with different bands. That seems like quite a nostalgic but brilliant thing that's happening here, Joe.
Well, you know, there's definitely a nostalgic feel with this new single that we're doing, because what we're sort of highlighting is this what they call the golden era of Cambodian music, which is late 60s, before the Khmer Rouge took over, obviously. Because once the Khmer Rouge took over, they assassinated all of these golden era musicians. So part of what we're doing with this new single is kind of keeping their spirit alive, keeping their memory alive, kind of an homage to these tortured and brutally murdered musicians.
Wow.
And maybe it's also, not to get too political, but a present day reminder that fascism's always kind of just right around the corner, and it's always good to fight for the underdog, and it's always good to, you know, speak out for civil liberties and all these good things.
Well, yeah, that's amazing. The points you're making about Cambodia there. So in a way, it's written for that audience, if you like. And when you go back, you're going to have the most amazing reception as people tune into the spirit of the music as you've reinterpreted and released it here.
This is what we're hoping. We're hoping that people get what we're trying to do, just to do an homage to this forgotten and lost culture, you know, and hopefully it will be a big success in Southeast Asia. You know, we just love the vibe there so much, and you know, we've got friends with record labels over there, so we might end up getting picked up over there somehow, and you know, moving into different markets. You know, who knows what the future holds, really. But
yeah, because people will be liking this sound all over the world as well, so you may get other invitations. And
yeah, so I mean, like I was saying about fascism, what I was hoping is that the message, it is written about what happened in Cambodia, but the Ram Rama Go-Go message is kind of a universal message about you know, like I said, fascism's right around the corner, and we're seeing this every day when we're watching the newspaper, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do people find your music? For someone watching a Good Morning Portugal show, maybe in the United States, loves the sound, wants to hear more, and maybe even wants to invite you over to play in the States, how do people get in touch?
Well, we have our Bandcamp. We have a online label that I run called Way Underground, WAAY Underground, and that's on Bandcamp, and that's where the new single will be released, probably this week.
There's also an EP that we released when was that? Last year?
That was last year.
Last year. And these are recorded in Stephen's studio in his home, which is really an incredible thing to be able to do in his little cabin. down in the
Tell
woods.
us about that then. So, Stephen, you as well as building a house, you've built a recording studio as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's simple, bare bones, but it's a great natural sounding room, and I think we've had really great results with minimal resources, I guess, and so yeah, it's the best as a drummer to have a space kind of out in the wilderness where I can just be as loud as I want and not piss anybody off. Great.
Well, yeah, and so does that mean your skills as a producer, an engineer, are also no? Okay, you're reversing away from that proposition.
Yeah, I have the gear and then need other people to make it work. But yeah.
But this is a good opportunity to shout out to one of our friends and co-conspirators, Nelson Rodriguez, who's helped us not only with the Wildflowers EP, but also helped us produce this new Chakra Shakers EP. So he's been certainly an anchor of the music scene here, and he's just doing great things all the time. So shout out to Nelson Rodriguez.
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. You're amazing.
Local legend as well. So all coming together nicely. I'm going to bring Jason onto the screen, who's over in central Portugal this morning. Good morning to you, Jason.
Bom dia.
He's with his headphones on. Hi, Jace. I don't know if you heard the tunes earlier on, but I'll be playing them again if I may, Chakra Shakers, if I could play them in their full length at the end of the show.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And we can find your music here. Find the Chakra Shakers at wayunderground.bandcamp.com. And the music will be downloaded from there, and your other music's there as well.
That's right.
Okay. Are you playing on the Silver Coast or in Portugal anytime soon?
Let's see. We just did a big weekend this weekend. We've just played Bosque, which is one of our favorite spots. A big shout out to Bosque. They've got the best smoked meat sandwiches, and they do the best Sunday evening parties. I love that place. We just did.
Oh, okay. That's where Branny had his launch, right? Because we've had Branny on the show.
That's right. That's right. Okay. You know what? They're a great supporter of original music. So, we give them a big shout out. Same with Prohibition Bar, another bar that does a lot of local original music. We just
in Marina Grand at the weekend. But to answer your question, you'll have to come to Berlin to hear us next.
That's
and
right.
Then that will be on the 25th and the 26th and 27th of July. And then we're here playing some happy.
Well, all right, but we'll make sure people are connected with what you're doing, Natasha. It was breaking up a bit there, and we can't go until we've said hi to the kids here as well, who must be very proud. I'm taking it of Dad here, Stephen. So who have we got here, and what do you want to say on the Good Morning Portugal show, kids? Suddenly nothing.
We've got Amalia.
Okay.
My chair's falling. What do you want to say, Mally?
I'm glad to be here with my dad.
Oh,
I'm really proud of him.
Oh, that's beautiful. Fantastic. Well done. Fantastic moment on a Good Morning Portugal show. Well, Chakra Shakers, thank you for being here. Thank you for the music. Excellent couple of new singles there. Play them in their full length a little bit later on in the show. Keep on rocking. Have a great time in Berlin and in Cambodia in the Far East later on. Take care. Ciao, ciao. Thanks.
Thank you, Carl.
Stephen. Bye for now. Right, there we go. We've got the Chakra Shakers there, Jason. And from the sounds of the Chakra Shakers to the sounds of Central Portugal. Did you get to hear the tunes or did you join afterwards?
I just missed, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to. I love listening to new music, especially when it's made by people, like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not great big stars or anything. We're really lucky around here. We've got a few really good bands that sort of do the circuit around Portugal Grand area. So I'd like to put a quick shout out for the Naughty Farmers and
that sounds like you
and the Johnny Estrangeros.
Johnny Estrangeros and the Naughty Farmers, of which you could be one. Some say you already are.
Well, I've dabbled.
Right, because you love a little bit of EDM yourself, don't you? And have you made music too?
I tried to make music, but I wasn't very good at it, if I'm honest. It used to really frustrate me that I'd make something which could be described as techno,
Yeah.
but I could never set out with a clear vision of how I wanted something to sound. And it
Yes.
used to annoy me that it always seemed to be a bit computer-led for me.
Mm.
And so I'd make a load of noises that I liked, chuck them together, but the thing that came out at the end was never how I envisaged it at the beginning. And so
It can be quite the rabbit hole. Oh, we've lost your sound there, Jason, for some reason. We can't hear you, mate. It's the irony of sharing music this morning and then having terrible problems with the sound quality on the Good Morning Portugal show. Have we got you again, Jace?
hello?
Oh, yeah, we got you again now.
Sorry, yeah, my headset just disconnected. Sorry.
Well, no, they look very good. Right. So
the headset.
Yes.
These are my DJ headphones.
Well, it's such a lovely and somewhat incongruous picture to have you in deep rural Portugal with the latest Bluetooth headgear on your bonds there. And want to find out, because we saw last week, in the last few days, that your puppy went missing. So we were all very concerned about that. You had quite the drama, haven't you, in the last week?
Oh, I'd only had it for about 4 hours.
Oh, really? Okay. So that was quick.
Yeah, it disappeared. But luckily, it didn't go too far.
Yeah.
I have got it back. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Sasha! Hello.
Yeah, we were all very concerned because she slipped her lead, hadn't she? Hello.
Well, no, what it was I built a pen for her.
Yeah.
To go into, and so I put her in the pen for the first time. And because I've been paying the dog so much attention, I was a little bit worried that my daughter might get a bit jealous, and so I went inside to go and bid my daughter good night and to give her a cuddle and everything. Can see the pen from the kitchen window. Looked down, looked like the dog was asleep. I turned around, put my flip-flops on, came out, and that was it. She was gone for 3 days.
Oh.
But it ended up being a bit like a David Attenborough documentary. She didn't go very far. She only went to like my neighbour's land, which is quite high with bracken and gorse and stuff. And so I'd keep tempting her out with a little bit of food, but she wouldn't come anywhere near me. And I swear down to you, I'd go to follow her into the bracken. She'd do 2 steps and then just absolutely disappear.
Right.
And so in the end, what I did was I kept on putting little bits of food out and one of my sweaty old T-shirts next to the food. And brilliantly, after 3 days, she decided that she did want to come and live with us after all.
Oh, lovely.
And since then, I've not had to put her on a lead or on a chain or anything.
Well, I just noticed that. So she's just made herself at home and decided she wants to be with you and no more silly business. Fantastic.
Yeah, for me, it's the only way to have an animal. If I have to, it has to be by mutual agreement.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise nobody's happy. And there's a great big lump just laid.
So she seems very happy now. What is she?
She's a Serra d'Estrela.
Right. Okay. So you've got a classic Portuguese dog.
Yeah, my neighbours are pretty pleased.
Okay. And she's going to be big and hairy.
Yeah, I mean, she's 5 months at the moment. I don't know if you can see, but she's.
Yeah, they say you can tell by the size of the paws, right, about how big the dog's going to be. She's got some pretty
Yeah.
It is big as your hand there, Jace.
I know, right? Well, the dad was pushing 55 kilos.
My goodness.
And the mother's sort of 45 kg. But she's so good-natured.
Yeah.
And she's really imprinted on my daughter.
Fantastic. Well, that's really important. That's going to be an incredible bond.
Yeah, at the moment she's hanging out with me, but if my daughter comes out, I don't get a chance.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. So all is well. She's back. She's decided to be with you. What a lovely end to that story, because there were a lot of people rooting for you, weren't there? I'm very, very unhappy to hear that she'd gone missing.
I'm going to be honest with you, right? I put out something on Facebook, and I think in less than 24 hours, I had something like 145 shares.
Fantastic.
Which just goes to prove that dogs are far more popular than I or vegetables.
Sorry, Jace, that would appear to be the case.
I mean, I'm a little bit crushed inside, but
All
I'm
right.
gonna try and learn to deal with it.
Well, let's see what we can do about that. Let's talk about you and your vegetables. How's everything going at Quinta Essencial?
It's going good as it goes. We're just starting to get a fair bit of produce coming out of the garden. Everything's looking nice and green. My favourite thing is still my irrigation system. It's by far the best thing I've ever done in my life. Watering now takes a grand total of about, I don't know, 30 seconds to switch something on.
Compared to what, Jace? How long were you spending before you installed the system?
Oh, in the height of the summer, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours a day.
Right, okay.
And so everything's starting to come on quite well now. The leeks are coming on quite well.
Beautiful. I'm going to give you full screen. Let's have a look at around the garden.
There you go. We've got leeks coming on. That's all wild mustard in there as well.
Beautiful.
My Coruscant de Bois tomatoes, their work starting to come out. I'm really pleased with this though. This is the beginning of my watermelon patch.
Every decent Quinta should have a watermelon patch for those really hot summer days, right?
Just got flowers starting to arrive now, which I'm really pleased about.
Fabulous.
And this year we planted our own body weight in basil.
Oh, okay. What? Because you're going to be making some pesto for the shop?
Yeah, I think so. With I've got like this a refrigerated bar. So what we're thinking of doing is having, so you can still buy a bottle or a jar of kimchi or a jar of sauerkraut, but I've got a refrigerated bar, and so we're thinking we're going to knock up pestos and harissa and a few different bits and pieces. Glass is getting quite expensive, and so if you bring your own jar, we'll fill you up by weight, and then hopefully get a few more good bits into people.
I mean, I don't know why people don't do that anyway. That wouldn't be that difficult a habit to get into, would it? People bringing their own receptacles.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it would be good for me. It's just obviously when we first started, it was quite important to get a name out there and have labels and things like that. And it's still important, but obviously, I don't like charging people €1 for a piece of glass.
Yeah.
And so if we can get around that, and we're up for recycling on any level. And so if you're bringing your own recycled tubs, then, that's another thing that's being recycled, and we haven't had to buy something new in order for people to recycle it. We can just, people can bring their own thing, and we take it from there, sort of thing.
Very good. You could always put a sticker on, couldn't you? You could still make the stickers and stick them onto people's.
Maybe just a little lid cover. So just pop the lid down or something like that.
Sounds great.
And,
so a massive planting of basil then, and the wonderful things you'll make from that at Quinta Essencial. What else is in the garden, and what's going nicely at the moment?
At the moment, strawberries are kind of coming to a bit of an end.
Yeah.
Second lot of cabbages.
Fantastic.
They're just starting to come along. That's some celery. We've had a load of celery so far this year. We're just letting that go to seed, so we've got some for next year. This is one of my favourites, Cavallonero.
Yes, beautiful.
And out the way, Sash.
Come on, Sash.
Look, just sat on my foot. And let me move, you silly sausage. Ow. And then these are...
Just wait, mate. Just wait till she's fully grown. You'll have no chance if she sits on your foot then.
Yeah, I'd rather she didn't sit on my cabbages, if I'm honest. And these are tomatillos.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Now that tomatillo is like a tomato, isn't it? But a bit more fruity.
Yeah, a little bit more fruity. They're a little bit firmer, and just I really like them. We make like a salsa out of them.
Oh, very nice.
And then I don't know if you can see in here, but there's Coruscant de Bois tomatoes just
Well, I know
beginning.
these are one of your favorites because we talked about this, didn't we? And I
Yeah.
want to ask you about how you eat them, because I'm sure when they've got to when they're just bulging and ready to be eaten,
Yeah.
a nice way to do it is to slice them, isn't it? And put a bit of a dressing on. What do you do?
I mean, my absolute favourite way is I get a really nice piece of bread from our local bakery.
Oh,
And then I'll get the tomato, cut it in half,
yeah.
and I just rub it and squeeze it all over the bread.
Stop it.
And then a little bit of olive oil, bit of black pepper,
Yes.
and a little bit of basil on the top. Basil and tomatoes are absolute best friends.
And so, like, immediate off, you've picked it, you've eaten it pretty much straight away. Food miles are down to centimeters, and you're just enjoying all that absolute freshness on the local bit of bread. That just sounds wonderful.
I mean, other ways, there's I really like them roasted in the oven. Again, just a little bit of balsamic, tiny little bit of sugar. If you've got a nice little bit of sugar, and then just slow roast them in the oven. I put them in as the oven's warming up, about 140 degrees. For I don't know, an hour.
Wonderful.
And then they just go like sweets. It's absolutely delicious.
Have you become more of a foodie since you've been growing more of your own food?
I mean, I've always really enjoyed food.
Yeah.
And I am very, very blessed. My wonderful partner, Oriel, is just an incredible cook. Like this morning, just whipped up a smoothie.
Yeah, for you to take to the farm. Fantastic.
Yeah. And then I'm chief taster, if I'm honest.
Very good. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, Jace. That sounds wonderful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And so we've got a couple more restaurants that have come online for us in the last week or so.
Nice one.
Really good.
Great news.
The market at Figueiro dos Vinhos is growing. If anybody's around the Portugal area this weekend, it's the artisan fair at Figueiro dos Vinhos market this week, and so there'll be other people there like us with homegrown and handmade stuff, like soaps, like natural soaps and shower gels and pieces of art and jewelry and all sorts of things. It's a really wonderful affair.
Sounds like it.
And Figueiro market's all undercover, so it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. It's a nice, easy and accessible one for people to be able to come to.
Brilliant. And as you're standing outside your shop with the opening hours there, remind us of when you're open at Quinta Essencial.
So we're open Quinta, Sexta and Sábado.
Yeah.
And on Thursday and Friday, we're open from 9 till 1, then 2 till 7. And on Saturday, we are open from
10 till 2, right?
10 till 2. I'm never here on Saturday. I'm at the market. I've been up before I've gone to sleep, and I'm...
Well, exciting. What a life. What a joy to always to talk to you and hear what's going on. And we're so glad that you've got Sasha back there and she's decided to stay. That's really lovely as well, isn't it? That she's not even on a lead or anything now. She's just decided she wants to be with you. What a lovely outcome to a little bit of drama that was shared massively and widely on Facebook last week. Cheers,
Cheers, buddy. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you very much for your monthly visit to the Good Morning Portugal show. Always wonderful to see what you're doing there and hear the birds singing and see the beautiful blue sky and hear about all this lovely food you're making. Go and buy some of it, folks, at the market on Saturday, or pop into the shop at Quinta Essencial, as Jason was talking about there. Lots of love to the family, mate, and to Sasha now as part of it.
You too.
Take care. Ciao, ciao. See you. Bye-bye. There goes Jason. He might stay backstage and listen to the music. We've got a God Squad tip of the day, and we've got some mindful business going as well from the old guy in Europe. Hello, good morning. So glad your dog has decided to adopt you, Jason. Great that people can use their own containers to buy your products. Maybe, if not too expensive, you can print stickers. Yes, great minds think alike there, Liz. That's not a bad idea, that, is it? Is to have a recycled receptacle, and then Jason can just slap a sticker on there. Right, let's go back to where we started this morning before we played the music of the Chakra Shakers. We had the old guy in Europe who was sharing with us, my life is just a series of WTF moments separated by snacks. Yes, I'm sure people can relate to that, old guy in Europe. What is that? He's the OG in Europe. So OGIE, the Ogie. Bom dia, Gumpers, he says, Feliz terça a todos, como estão? Just before 8 this morning. In his mindful dad joke, Isaac Newton discovered gravity in 1687. Before that, people could fly. Isaac Newton, you ruined all our fun. Bom dia a todos. A Feliz terça from Coach Turner, except it doesn't feel like a Tuesday to me. Great drive back from Zandvoort, except around Antwerp, which seems to have wall-to-wall roadworks. The Twerpians there, wall-to-wall roadworks. Home before scheduled, however, and the God's God tip of the day from Ian. I read a post yesterday that talks about going on holiday with a friend that keeps saying, yes, it's not far, we can walk there. So you average over 15,000 steps a day with that friend. Be that friend is Coach Turner's tip for today. And bon dia, Carl and Gumpers, a stunning day in Belfast from Deagle. 21 today to be similar. Blue skies, no breeze. Rain, I know I did not imagine warm, sunny days as a child, but they do happen. Even there in Belfast, a nice sunny day at 21 there. It looks like it's going to be a beauty here in the Silver Coast of Portugal too. Antonio was in. Good to see you. Joan was in as well. As well. Sarah Yerma popped in. Carl Hyde was with us as well. And of course, Nunu popped in. Michael Barton and João de Nort before he popped off to his watercolor class. Pete, good to see you here this morning. Maybe see some of you at the Portugal Club. Try something Portuguese social tonight. So not a webinar, just a hanging out there of Portugal Club members and the people who support the show here. So thank you very much for doing so. Squire of the Shires also in. Jackie, are you feeling a little more energized now? And Lizeth, who popped in as well. So people can add the date of purchase on that sticker too. Very good idea that Jason might want to take note of there. And OG is how I label all my channel work. So it is the Ogie, the old guy in Europe. Let's play that Chakra Shakers music. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me share with you what we're doing on Thursday evening. Pause in Portugal. Seamless pet transportation tips. And we're advising and recommending and inviting you to bring your pet to sit on your lap for that webinar at 7:30 on Thursday, when we'll be telling you all about over expats Portugal, how to bring your pets over to Portugal. And we mainly cats and dogs. A bit more tricky with some of the other species, but certainly for cats and dogs, how to bring your pets over. Seamless pet transportation. Get it? At Expats Portugal on Thursday. Right, those Chakra Shakers then. And one other thing before I go. This was what I wanted to make a bit more of a big deal about this as a parting thought today. Let's just move your comment out the way there as well, James. No offense. Never admire quietly. And this is from Chinese Terry, who popped it up on Facebook. And I thought, I've got to borrow that and share it with everybody here, share it with the Gumpers. If I admire something about someone, I tell them. We humans are so fragile. It's important we give people their flowers while they're still here. Imagine that. Give people their flowers while they're still here. Never admire quietly. From Chimamanda Adichie there. Thanks very much for that via Chinese Terry there. Have a great day to you as well. Amazing Austin brothers in Alviagra. So Chakra Shakers then. And I think getting them in the right order, this is the first we'll play. And we'll play them in their entirety. And I'll put the link up to Bandcamp so that you'll be able to purchase them when they go online as well. Here's the first. Enjoy. And we'll see you tomorrow for Hump Day and Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. See you then. Have a great day.